Sly, your favorite neighborhood therapist. Having real hard convos, contrasting pessimists. Generational trauma explored, broach delicate. Getting to the root of the pain, healing impediments. Every week signs copay, free lessons. Bet on self, trust the process, no questions. Feel your feels, journey to be healed, no stressing. Conversations with Coach Lies now in session.
What's going on, all you beautiful people out there? Welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Coach La La La. Your favorite around the way therapist is in the building. Oh my goodness. You gotta understand just how busy my weeks are in general. So I just got back from New York. I want to say a big shout out to my cousin Tanika. She just reached her 45th milestone. So we were hanging out in Soho, Manhattan, and I actually got a chance to be in Times Square, y'all. So I stayed at the Sheraton in Times Square, and they clowned me. All my family clowned me, and the lovely ladies at Sephora who did my makeup clowned me as well. Now, why might they clown Coach? Well, come to find out, I think I got scammed. Here's a little story. So me and my sisters out there walking around taking pictures and having a good time. And she goes, we should get in a buggy. Okay, the buggies are going around, they're playing the music and stuff. I'm wondering, ain't nobody really in these buggies though, but she said, let's get in the buggy. So with Times Square, literally we could have walked, but it was like cold. It was kind of cold, chilly, and I had on these cute little booties. Y'all might have seen the picture I posted when I was in the hotel lobby, in the little lounge area, right? So we go and we get in the buggy. Now, fun times. He's doing donuts in the street. He got the Sexy Red, the Gorilla. He got all these things, all this music just going. And then he turns around and gives us a bubble machine. What's going on, Sean Jordan? Good to see you, my friend. Gives us a bubble machine. When I tell you I was a kid in the candy store having me a good old time. We just going and driving, dropping it like it's hot in the buggy. Then I'm like, sis, where is he taking us, right? Now we in Times Square, and we in awe, looking around. I've never been to Times Square. This is my first time. But then it started to seem a little weird, right? Because he just busting these donuts, and then he turns down a side street, and I'm like, you could just take us back to the hotel. He's like, oh, no problem, wrong way. We can't go that way. Drives us around. I'm like, okay, why are we going this way? So we finally get back to the hotel. And now me and my sister's thinking, how much does this cost? We might have wanted to ask that at first. So I'm like, we look at each other. Well, maybe it won't be more than like $50, $60. $236.81. It was $8.99 a minute. What? So anywho, if he would have said that at first, or we would have asked, we probably wouldn't have got on the buggy. Although it was a good experience, once in a lifetime. Beware of the buggies in Times Square. Them things are a ripoff. $8.99 is crazy. So anyway, good times. I enjoyed myself. We also went to this really nice Mediterranean restaurant out in, I think we were in Brooklyn. La Casa Femme. I think I said that right. But it was really nice, very romantic spot, belly dances and all that good stuff. I'll be posting some footage of that soon. So it's been a really interesting weekend. And I did the driving. So I drove there and back. So I got back today around 3-4 o'clock. And I'm here doing my show, even though I'm exhausted. Because I have a wonderful guest that's going to be in the building with me today. And he was actually debriefing me on where we met at Rhythm and Raps. He has a burger actually named after him. He was here on the Morning Cafe a little while back. He is a Boston legend, originally from Boston, from Mattapan, where I live at the current moment. And some of you guys may know him as the co-founding member of Gang Starr. And why I wanted to talk to him today is because this is one of those rare opportunities that I've been getting to talk to living legends that have been around, seen a lot of different things. I just want to pick his brain about life and how he came to be who he is. So he has a catalog that's massive. I was online looking up a lot of his music. A lot of you guys may know him from Gang Starr, Militia. He has several different solo projects, features on a bunch of other people's projects as well. He's been in 2 movies also. I have to go back and look for him in these movies. 7 movies. See, Wikipedia told me 2. That's why I don't like Wikipedia, right? I don't like Wikipedia. What's up, Leroy? I know you called, but you can't talk to me right now, Leroy. But what's up? How you doing, Mr. Leroy? So I am super excited about having him on the show because he's not only a founding member, but he is the voice. His voice is the unfiltered narrative of Boston's hip hop. It's gritty, it's loyal, and it's deeply human. A lot of people don't know a lot about narrative therapy, but I truly believe that hip hop was our first way of having narrative therapy in the Black community. Even though people have criticized topics and, you know, some of the language we use, when you really, really think about, they're telling you stories about real life, stories that are true to us as people of color. So I'm excited about having this conversation with him. Say hello to the people.
What's up, man?
Yay.
This is Big Shug. We here.
Big Shug is in the building on the virtual couch.
Yes, sir.
Everybody
yes,
say what's up to the man of the hour.
Yes.
Shout out to all of our listeners on Facebook, Instagram, iHeart. Everybody's in here wanting to come in here, hear your story, hear who you are. So who is Big Shug? Do you use your government?
As far as, Big Shug is my name is an entertainer, is a rap artist and a performer. So as a kid, my nickname was Sugar Bear. So Sugar Bear evolved into becoming Shug. You know what I mean? And so I was Shugs at a young age. So yeah, I mean, I don't really, I guess in business, certain other businesses might be using my government name, but Shug has been like so many years. So it is what it is, Yeah. So
Sugar Bear.
Yeah, that was the original,
So that was like your childhood nickname.
Yeah, like, childhood, teenager, through those years. I played football, and there was a player for the Patriots at the time. His name was Ray Sugar Bear Hamilton. So he played nose guard, and I was a fan of his. And as I was coming up playing football, I wore the same number, 72, and I had the nickname Sugar Bear, and it stuck with me. You know what I mean? So, and then playing football, I was known. I went to Boston English. Shout out to Boston English High, the original.
My son went there.
And I used to, be known for making some serious hard hits in the football games. And this one kid, K-Ball, my man, rest in peace. He said that when I made hits, it was like Thor with the hammers, boom, like. So then that's when he came to Shug, and then so that stuck like from that point, Plus, I had a pretty good punch back in the day too. So yeah, it all kind of stuck, man.
Yeah.
That was then though,
So no one knows this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know this either. We share something else in common.
What's that?
My nickname was Sugar Bear. I ain't gonna tell you who gave me that nickname.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't like him no more.
Oh shoot.
But yes, I had a nickname Sugar Bear by ex. One of my ex-boyfriends called me Sugar Bear.
Yeah, that was me.
Ain't that something? Who would have known?
I have a one arm the tattoo is Sugar Bear, and then the other arm is Big Shug. So yeah, that was the original. Yep.
Yeah, Big Shug. And I'm assuming because you about 6'6"?
No. Hey, that's cool. I'm 6'3". I'm about 270. So at times I was bigger like years ago, like but I've been 270 for a while. So the crazy thing about it too is when we first started Gang Starr, Guru and myself, Keith Elam, he was called Keithy E, which was a name I dubbed him because his name was Keith Elam, and he was looking for a name, and I was like, at the time, Sheila E was popping, and a lot of people had that E. I said, well, just be Keithy E, and his parents called him Keithy, so it worked, and I was Sugar Bear, so Gang Starr would be Keithy E and Sugar Bear, that was us, and we used to tag We used to do our tag all over the place, even when we were living in Atlanta, early 80s and stuff like that. And everywhere we went, we were tagging Gang Starr, and then it would say Keith E and Sugar Bear, you know. So, yeah, it's been there a long time, you know.
So you know, a lot of people know who you are because of the rapping and being a rapper, American rapper. I mean, you've done a lot in that field. I grew up on MTV Raps and you know, Big City, Rap City.
Right.
So you know, I got exposed to hip hop through TV, but now it's a whole different generation. They got social media.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think the impact of social media has had? And if it was around back when you guys came up, do you think it would be a positive or a negative?
So when we were coming up in our careers and in that time of life, it probably would have been a negative because it would have gave you that exposure, but also, man, there was a lot of wild stuff going down. Because when my early days in the business, you know, those were the days when guys, you had a problem, you were going up to radios or record companies, you know, getting physical. A lot of craziness would happen then. So that was stuff today, man, you'd be like done, you know, but then it was that accessible. Now you go to these buildings and you see security on the hallway, or you got to go through this to get to that. But when I was first going, like, you could just get on the elevator and go upstairs to Def Jam or wherever, you know. So if you had a problem, a lot of things would go on. And even at the shows, man, because you had some of the craziest fans and groupies and all types of stuff. So it would have probably been a more of a negative because of the exposure. And now what we deal with is, I believe social media brings fabrication, part of fabrication to the forefront. And what I mean is people just make up stuff and become what they are or want the people to see them as. So that part is kind of whack. And then also everybody, like before, you would just be in your house, you know, and you know, get up, you know, and you know, get dressed, eat, do whatever you're doing. Now people are like, oh, this is me when I woke up. Like, you know, I always look like this. Or, you know, oh, let me take a picture of my food. Or, okay, oh, well, I'm going down to the living room to see my grandson. You know what I mean? So now it's like everybody's a star. Everybody's a star to themselves, and they wanted to share it with you. Cool, that's probably why it was created. But then in the other things, as far as music, everybody's a music person. Everybody, you know, because the music is a bit watered down because of social media, you know. And there's also people who believe everything on social media. Mm-hmm. Like, so before you used to get those magazines was Parade or the Inquirer and all those, like people would get all those.
The tabloids.
Right, the tabloids and stuff. Uh-huh. Whereas now,
it's, you know, bloggers.
Yeah, I mean, and people are the tabloids or anything that comes across there. Everybody wants to believe it. You know what I mean? So, in that regards, it is what it is. I mean, I use it as a tool, just pushing the brand and you know, keep people updated with Shug and what's going on. But other than that, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's here, and fortunately and unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and there's positive, negatives. I mean,
there's some positive.
The ability for artists now to control their narrative and to get, you know, advertising publicity. You don't have to wait on a record label to promote you.
Right.
You know, it has allowed that piece. But I do see that folks can fabricate things. But don't you think that's always been the case, though, that people could front? They can front in their lyrics. They can front in their show.
So,
and we said front back then. Now it's cap.
No, I still say.
They say cap now.
Well, I use them both depending what, but me and my son always used to say FFF.
What's that?
Fronting for Facebook, right? You know what I mean? So, and it's because, like, I don't know. Sometimes people want to even use their mouths to say certain things that they think they might have knowledge of, and sometimes it's just unintelligent. You know what I mean? You deal with that. But that's the same thing as, like, even when you were playing on PlayStation and different games and devices, and people would be, you play people that are other places, and they're on there, talking trash or whatever, you know what I mean, and saying whatever they want to say, which they would never say to you or around you, So, I mean, you got that part too, like, people hide behind everything. They hide behind the screen too. That's probably a good series because with that's texting as well.
Yeah.
Like everybody's hiding behind. Like I'm a conversationalist myself, meaning that like I would rather be talking. That's just me. I'd rather talk because
but that's our era.
Yeah, and that's probably also the emotion of it. Like now people with the dating thing, they go online to date, look for dates, speed dating, and all this crazy stuff. Whereas the vibe was always like, if you were talking to somebody, you
need to hold a conversation.
And ultimately, that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you do meet someone like that, ultimately you got to be able to do that.
Right.
Someone had mentioned, don't when they say, hey, what kind of man you looking for? Don't say because he'll appear that way. And I said, well, my thing on that is like, hey, that's real life though. If you go out with someone and you got an interest and he has interest, right? You're gonna say nice things. I mean, you're gonna. That's what's right there. Yeah. You don't know the person. You got to get to know him.
You got to get to know.
So
him.
I mean, it's just like all of that. I mean, the books and taking phone numbers and all that, and just talking to people. And talking is great.
People don't like talking on the phone no more.
Or even talking, because I mean, I'm in restaurants and I look and see two people sitting waiting for their food and they both texting. I'm like, damn, that's wild.
It's a different. It's a
you know
different
what I mean?
time.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
It's a different time. So I was reading right. So Gang Starr isn't considered to be just a group. It's the cornerstone of a hip hop golden era.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that statement?
So, the reason being more so, I think, when that is spoken and said that way, is because, collectively, DJ Premier and Guru created, as Gang Starr, created a lot of like good music in the golden era, and Premier produced a lot of the music outside of even Gang Starr. It's like Biggie and it was some great records. You know what I mean? And quite a few people, like so it was like people always looked at them as the New York sound, right? He being though also, I mean. Premier's being from Texas and Guru from Boston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they had a stronghold underground. Guru used to be upset a lot because he felt that the popularity that the group had and the way when we would move, how people would, they were treating us like other platinum artists or whatever, but the labels didn't get the group to be at that level. So he would be frustrated. But I always kept it to the core. Premier always, navigated and kept it to the core. And at that time, like I said, it was so much great music because Edo told me, Edo G, shout out to him, my man. He had told me we were having a conversation. Him, I, and Mantera, we have a song coming out. We were shooting a video, and he was talking about like our music. A lot of it, they listen to the old stuff. Like even more than what we're doing now. Like,
yeah, I was looking at the
streams. What I mean? So
people are still listening to.
Oh yeah.
And my brother, he was excited. He's like, "Yeah, man, Militia. I remember that song." He started. Man. I was like, "Okay, you know the lyrics."
Oh yeah.
So people was rocking with that. Yeah, it was also known or was mentioned the jazz infused melodies and the fact that it was also considered conscious rap, which was really different back then.
So. As you speak, Guru would get caught in the middle of that because he was, the way he had a monotone delivery and he was very an intellectual guy, you know what I mean? So, and a wordsmith. So he was able to, put his music out that way. But the jazz sound was really like Premier because Premier was using, some jazz loops and things like that. So they would always call Guru a jazz rapper, which he didn't like that. But I mean, that's why, because, it would be the music, the vibe like that, which was funky though still, but it had that jazz element. And then the way he delivered it, his words, his vocals. Eventually he moved on to do the Jazz with Taz projects, which were catered towards that and working with some greats and some legends. So
eventually embraced
the
innovation of
heavy,
it all.
heavy, because when we did Jazzmatazz, and I say we because when Guru did Jazzmatazz, it was just him and I as far as through the journey of it, because like Premier, it was Gang Starr doing other things, and the rest of the crew was doing other things, and Guru and I was through his whole the first and to the fourth, and touring the world and doing all kinds of stuff with Jazzmatazz. So, it was great too. It was great too to work with the greats Lonnie Liston Smith, Donald Byrd, rest in peace. Also Roy Ayers, rest in peace. And so many greats like that. Reuben Wilson, Hammond organ player. These were all legends. And who was Bernard Purdy? Bernard Purdy was the drummer. He was also a drummer for Al Green and Aretha Franklin, those people back in the day. So for me and Guru to be with them on tour, we were the young dudes. So we're touring with them all over the place. But it was so much knowledge, man, about just jazz music and even just the history of it. These guys, it was such a great time, So yeah, so it was embraced.
Very innovative during that time too. To have that type of hip hop beat with jazz, and now you have so much of that happening. Recently, shout out to VCR. He had a young lady who's an opera singer, and she was infusing opera with hip hop. I've also had a couple of violinists. Shout out to Fred, doing that as well. So it's like, I think back, that really started with Gang Starr. Yeah,
they were heavy, with that. Also, Tribe Called Quest had some jazzy stuff. Pete Rock, so they, yeah, man. But they, that's where it was at. And for the evolution of it, for those who might not know, so Gang Starr prominently was Guru and Premier, right? When it got to that point, but when it started out really in '82 with me and Guru. We were the group. That was us, period. Because in the beginning, I had to, I actually taught him how to rap, and that's why I always had so much love and respect for him, because he was a grown man when I taught him that. Like, he was a senior in college, going into his senior year to finish
how
out.
How do you teach somebody how to rap?
It was like the poem, the poetry of, writing and then putting it to music, because that's how I learned at 15. But he was like 22. You see what I mean? So I had to show him that.
Can you say that again? So it started with poetry.
Yes, I would write.
Did y'all hear that? I told y'all poetry.
I was a poet. I was a young dude writing poems, and this dude named Justice from New York, Reggie, shout out wherever he's at. He told me, man, yeah, you write them poems, man. You could put it to music. You could be rapping and stuff. Like, he told me I was 15, 16. So then I evolved in that. So by the time I got to Guru at that point, I was always rhyming and singing, because I sing as well. So I just hit my plug. Hold on.
We can still hear you. Can keep talking.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah. You can
okay. Yeah. So yeah.
So you sing too?
Yes, but with Guru, so with him, like, that's what we used to spend hours, man, with him, just being able to ride the beat and be on time. So a lot of us early shows that we would do as Gang Starr, as a group, I would write his part and write my part. So that's what we did for a long time. For those who don't know, and and our routine consisted of doing some rhymes and singing as well. So we would like sing. He could hold a note. You know what I mean? I was the strongest singer, but our routine was that. So that's how we performed. You know what I mean? That was us. And then
that most people that I have met are multi-talented.
Right.
Do you feel like often, though, being AKA a rapper, because I don't know, a lyricist, that you get put in a box? Because I know you came out with a different project, because you still write music and perform. People don't know that. It's 2025 and you still got tracks out there. And you're still writing and performing at the young age of
a lot of
64,
something like that.
Yeah. You don't look 64.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even tell no more how old people are.
You can't. you can't run from your time and whatever, so, and I just continue to do music because it's forever for me. But what happens too is and I'm doing features all over the world all the time with people that are probably 20, 30 years younger. It is what it is. There's a reason why they want you to be on their stuff and whatever. But what happens with me, way before, when people were singing these hooks and doing things like that and rapping, we would go on tour, and when Guru would go take a break and change or do something different like that, Premier would play breaks and I would sing. So those who were early to our early shows like that, when I was involved, they knew that, like people knew that, like, oh shoot, because they'd be always shocked. So that's why when we went into Jasmine Says, I'm singing on a few hooks on that. And then if you came to see live stuff, I was always going to get at it. And then we would have our singers with us. Lil Mo, shout out to Lil Mo. She would be with us, and another DC Lee. And so then I would sing with them, and we just used to, I would always do that stuff. So people started, as it evolved, people started learning more. Like even when I would sing my hooks and play it in certain songs, then people would wait for you to be live and be like, oh, I wanted to see how that was really live. And was that really you? Or telling me like, people don't think that was you. So then you be always, and then I sang, and then now it's like I go in the hardest core fan base, like, want to hear hard music, and I sing this thing I do or whatever, a couple of things I do, and they always go crazy. So, it's for me, I was able to get out of it a little bit like that as I move forward. You know what I mean?
So what inspires that? How has Boston authored your voice? Like what we see as Sugar Bear or now Big Shug, what inspires you to write?
So, writing for me is like natural. So it's like right now, if I was to go in that room over there, the other room, I could write songs, poems, whatever I could do, because it's something naturally that I do. I could freestyle music, do things like that in my mind. And my inspiration just comes from, I don't know, I just think from the soul and from the heart and just from life itself, because I feel like if I can live, I can give this music that I keep creating, and that comes from the soul and myself. So I don't know. I guess the inspiration is me and life. That's where I get it from.
Mm-hmm. So on the show, we talk about therapy. We talk about life. We talk about how to navigate life. And I'm glad that you said that it's about you, because your music is a reflection of your identity. Mm. And for some of us, we think our identity is fixed, or we only have to embrace one piece of ourselves. To be 6'3", 240, a man that has many facets, to say he's a singer and a rapper. Mm. How have you been able to do that when, we got haters, we got people looking side eye, you're switching up your style. Wait a minute, you was doing hardcore gangster rap, now you singing. Because a lot of people struggle with their identity.
So with me, like if anyone said that or whatever, that was behind the scenes. Everybody embraced it with me. So therefore, because there's a difference between someone flipping on the auto-tune, right, and singing a song or whatever, to whereas you really can get to hear it and the soul of it, and so, okay, damn, this dude like really sounds good. Okay, so, and I only say that because that's the response I get, so that's even why it was incorporated. So, and when I was incarcerated, listen, it was cats in there, man. We'd be harmonizing. Dudes had some of the greatest voices, right? So, if you want to talk about, like, those were some of the tough, and they were cuckoo, and some was never coming home. But singing wise, we was up in there, hit them little joints, man, and singing, and you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's just, I was a kid even doing it, you go to church, you're singing with people, you don't think how big you'll get with it, but that was not normal, singing around the house. My father went to Berkeley, and he studied and wrote music. So when he was young, he was a singer. He used to sing live on the radio because that's how they used to do it. And that's how my mother actually met him, being one of them screaming girls in the crowd.
Really?
And yeah, and so when he got older, sometimes, like he was always singing, but sometimes he would listen, he would have us harmonizing a little bit or whatever. We'd be doing our thing because we went to Alma Lewis School of Fine Art. So all of us took different instruments, my brothers and sisters, clarinet, violin, flute, the drums. So we learned that. We learned ballet, had to take ballet at 9 to like 12 years old.
Wait, you took ballet?
Oh yeah.
So you're nice on your feet.
I mean, yeah, I have been that for a long time. So.
Listen, I told y'all was gonna hear some exclusive things that you can't find on Wikipedia. Big Shug can do ballet. Y'all hear that?
Well, I don't know if I still can do it now, but we were doing that. I mean, it was what you had to do at this school. So you learn, those who know Demi Plié and all that stuff. We was doing all that. You know what I mean? So
I want to see that. Wait, who was just recently tap dancing?
I seen that. I know you're talking about
Celtics player.
Brown, Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
So he was tap dancing and he actually got inspired to do that from Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. I peeped that. I seen that.
Yeah, recently. And I think that is another example of identity. I think sometimes we allow the world to influence our interest in what we can do. Here you are telling me you was doing ballet.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that back in our generation, we go back then, that was definitely something people might side eye.
Yeah. I mean, if you went there, that's at Alma Lewis, you had to. So I played an instrument, clarinet. I did ballet. I did African dance, which was actually, they used to have some kids shows back in the day, Jabberwocky and Zoom and stuff.
Let me find out.
Sure, I was on those, partaking in African dance. And then what else did we do?
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, we took drama, sculpturing. So many things that I were cultivated from that school. You know what I mean? Young. And as I look at it now, as all the people that went there and went through there, there's only one guy that Leon Mobley, shout out to Leon, that internationally he's a real big. He plays African drums. One of our instructors then, his name was Babatunde Olatunji.
I remember Babatunde.
Yeah, he taught us the African drums at young age.
Yeah.
So
he was one of my teachers. I went to St. Joseph's.
Right.
And he taught music.
Oh yeah. So he but Leon took it to the next level. He's playing now with some grades, and he's a grade himself. But I never thought that like I was gonna see the world 10 times over like I do, and like I continue to do, and from being a kid there. So yeah, that was a exposure at a young age, man, and that was that.
That's what's up. So, like I told you before, right? I'm a psychotherapist by day, radio personality by night. And we talk about therapy, right? So when you think about therapy, what does that mean to you? Like, have you had a therapist? Has it been helpful? Are you one of those people like, I'll never go to therapy?
So I probably would never go to therapy because I feel like I might be that within myself. So, and I don't look at any issues in life where I'm just not that person, whether stressed or worried about or any of that. So like it might be more therapeutic for someone to speak to me as a therapist. That's just the way it is. My vibe is that way. And I think when I think of therapy, I mean, it's helpful for people on a lot of different levels, and it's not being quick. And as a therapist, it's like not being quick to judge, but being quick to understand, so therefore, when you have the understanding and you're having these conversations, it's helpful for people. You know what I mean? It's like when you're teaching somebody to drive a car, you got people that like to let them do their thing and ease into it and teach them that way, which is me. And then you got the other people, oh, watch out for that. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, damn. You know what I mean? So therefore, that's a different, it ain't going to never happen. You're not going to win. So I just think when I look at it, I just look at it as therapy is that medicine that's needed for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So if it works for you, then guess what? It works for you. You know what I mean? So you have to.
Right.
That's what you do.
And I'm glad
You know
that
what I mean?
we're bringing different perspectives to the
That's
virtual couch, because
Mm.
everybody doesn't need to go to therapy or be in therapy.
Right.
But everybody needs somebody to talk to and somebody to understand them. Right.
Mm.
And I think those of us who have that support system or have developed that inner dialogue often can navigate life without going into treatment or getting a therapist. But it's helpful, but not everybody needs it. There's some people that have navigated some really hard things. So that brings me to this idea of, incarceration and having to rebrand and just navigate that, and then come back and reconnect with music, reconnect with Guru and now DJ Premier. So what chapters have you survived that you never thought you would?
Probably, I don't know. I always thought that's kind of tough because I always felt I would. But one of the toughest times in life was the crack era. You know what I mean? Because, I was on both sides of that as far as, getting heavy and dealing and stuff like that. And on some dangerous levels, and also dealing with addiction on the other side of that. So, excuse me. When I got through that part of life, to me, that was the toughest part of life. If I wasn't going to come out, it would have been around those days. You know what I mean? Because just the level I was in, and just from, so many people who lost their lives that I knew. And then, from either whether it was addiction or different things like that, or gunplay or get shot or whatever, things like that, so I was definitely in the middle of that type of mix. So therefore, to come out of that might have been the toughest time. After that, nothing was tough. Even to this day, like nothing is, anything. I never look at anything like, man, nah, man, it's just, I got through that part of life. And anybody some people I still see from that are doing good and what have you, and God bless them, you know what I mean? So yeah, after that I was good, and I'm good by the grace of God and the grace of life,
That's big. I had another gentleman on last month, and he asked me, he said, why do you keep bringing up the crack epidemic? You bring that up a lot. And I told him, I said, for me, that was a very monumental moment in my life in terms of my journey of watching my neighborhood go from being like this, everybody's outside riding bikes, you can fall asleep on your porch, to you got to be in the house by a certain time because it was a different place at night. It was scary, and everybody had either someone dealing in their house, where it was 2 crack houses on my street that I had to pass to go to school. And most people had somebody that was dealing with addiction in their household, including me. My own dad was dealing with it for a while. And I asked him, God rest his soul, how did he come out of that? Because a lot of people's parents didn't come out.
Oh, yeah. I know people that didn't.
A lot of people's parents didn't stop. And it was a tough time. A lot of us saw people pass away or just turn overnight into something you would have never thought you would see. Never. And quick.
Yeah.
1 minute they was normal, and a couple weeks later you was like, who is that?
Yeah.
You didn't recognize them. So thank God for that. How did you pull yourself out of that?
So in the darkest days, I would always pray, and I would always pray, and I would always be like, man, I know this is a way out of this. I know you're going to get me out of this. I'm going to get out of this. I'm not going to fall to the wayside of this. I really was like that, because I suffered. I went through homelessness, all types of stuff like during them days. That was part of it. Part of it was glorified and gangster and making money and all that. And then the other part was that, in the winter nights, like, damn, it's snowing and everything, but I was never some guy that was gonna go to the shelter or nothing, so I was gonna make do, you know what I mean? And I definitely wasn't gonna be panhandling or nothing. I made my moves, but that's what it was. I always thought I would be out of it. And then when I had the opportunity, sometimes when I got locked up, sometimes people would think that's what, like, they would say, oh, we went away. Then, yeah, that's how you got right. But it's not, because in there, everybody's getting high too. You know what I mean? Smoking crack, doing everything else in there. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to get off that, then you was going to have to be the one to do it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
and I didn't need a program, because like I just looked at my life in general and was like, damn, everything was great when I wasn't messing with that. You know what I mean? Now, like, let me eliminate that and see what's up. And that was it. Like, I mean, I still drink and I smoke, weed, you know what I mean? But I don't, that's eliminate that. Life has been grand. So, you know what I mean?
That self-talk is something.
Yeah, no question.
And that's not to say, because I know there's a lot of people that are probably listening to this show and they're like, it ain't that easy.
No, it isn't. Some people have to go to programs.
So I think the first thing in anything is making a decision, though. Right? Making the decision that that's what you want, and then doing what you need to get the support to make it happen. If you can't do it on your own, absolutely ask for help. But I think you got to make a decision. And some people ain't ready to stop.
Yeah.
And they got to be honest with themselves. And when I'm working with people who are in the belly of addiction, is to really talk to them, not shame them. But what do you get out of getting high? What is it that is bringing to your life? And what are you losing by getting high? Like, I'm not shaming you. Let's just have a real conversation about it, because you got to make a decision. And
when you're not high, you're normal. You know what I mean? So what I mean by that's what brings you back to what life is. So then your acceptance is, if you're getting high, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to get that next hit or next whatever I'm doing. People just say, oh, so-and-so's a fiend or whatever, but all the addictions are different.
Right.
A crack
and
addiction.
People don't wake up one day and say, I want to become a fiend.
Oh, no.
I want to be homeless. I don't think anybody says, you know what, I don't want to amount to nothing. I just want to be out on the street and do nothing with my life. Life circumstances, situations, choices.
Some people though, they do unfortunately get to the point where they accept it. So you have to stop accepting that too. Right. Because there are people like, that's what happens. They say, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And then they're good with it. But then, sometimes people have to go get help several times before they get to it, and sometimes they never get to it. So like, true. I feel blessed, because that I came through, and if I could say things that are gonna help people, or sometimes when I roll up on people, I don't do it for brownie points, but like, I give them people you see out in the hospital and all that, I give them dollars. If I got something like food or whatever, I do that like all the time. Right. And it's because they might get high, like, or whatever, with the money I'm giving them, but my thing is, I at that moment too, a lot of times, dude, I used to be out here, not like them, but I mean, I was out here, you know what I mean? So, and then I know they're looking at me like, damn, what'd you do? Or even just thinking for a minute, like, and I say, hey, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just, because right now you're going to get this money I got, and you're probably going to go get high, whatever. But it's just that me understanding too, that all these people we see too, were always at one time, they were somebody's baby. That's right. Somebody held them in their hands for the most part, and nurtured them for the most part, and things went awry. You know what I mean? So we all, I mean, it might be that simple, but we are God's children first. So therefore, the road is different for everybody. We go through different things, and I'm not going to never look down on them people having them struggles. Whatever my contribution could whether it's talk, whether even some few dollars for that moment, whatever, so be it. That's what I do.
Yeah. Again, tonight's show, right, is season 9 for me. I turned 50 this year.
Good for you.
And so thank you. I'm excited about it. But it's all about evolution. It's about healing. It's about evolving. And you point out a lot of things, right? A lot of things I didn't know about you. And I wanted to make sure this was up close and personal, because people see the success. They see, the strength, the confidence, but they don't always know the shoes you walked in, right? So when you think about, how did hip hop become both an outlet and your intervention? because it seems like through lyrics, you've used it to talk about a lot of the things you've been through.
So yeah, a lot of my music is, if you go and listen to my catalog or whatever, you'll hear a lot of, especially in the early days, a lot of more hardcore lyrics and what have you. But shoot, 90% of them things are true stories. So it was like, it was a theme, you know, that what I lived through, what I came through. And like I always had rap and song, even in my darkest days. Like I said, I'd be out there, man, you'd probably going to get high somewhere, whatever, but I would still be singing. I'd still be freestyle. I still do this, where there's people out there that can tell you that, you know what I mean? So, and I actually was doing, because I was, Guru and I were doing our music and doing all that stuff, as I delved into that lifestyle even heavier. You know, that's when we first had our first break, because I was in that. Like we would do shows and go perform and do stuff. I get the little money we win, and I'm gone, right? And them dudes, you know, at the time it was me and him in the beginning, and then it was me, him, and DJ Mike D. Shout out to him. DJ Mike wanted to be down, right? And so we used to be doing these little things, and I was in the streets heavy, and those dudes weren't. So that's how it kind of, you know, faltered. And I went to my darkest time. I went to the highest times, money-wise and all that, and to the darkest times in the separation that we had, Guru and I. So it was monumental and so great when we did hook back up, because we actually even had said when we first started, if we ever broke up for whatever reason and one of us made it, then we come back and get the other one. That's really what we said, like on some pinky swear stuff. Like that seems so like fake, you know what I mean? But that's what we did, and he did that, you know what I mean? Because we hooked back up. When I got out, I took about almost a year, just to get myself together and acclimated, and then we connected. We connected through the back door, really, because I was living in a rooming house, something, and this dude's nephew was Damo. Shout out to Damo and Smitty, and they were connected with Guru. They were dealing with Guru, you know, and I hadn't seen him in a minute, and I was like, oh. And dude gave me his phone number, and I talked to him, and then they were coming to a club called, I forget it. It became Felt, but they were coming there, and that was the first time I had seen them. And I actually got on stage. It was nice and smooth, Gang Starr. And I got on stage and freestyle, like, for the first time ever, like, being back with them that same day. So it was like, man, and I spoke to him, and it's like we never even separated. So it was just something else, man. You know, I'm glad, like I said, I got through and was able to do that. And the rest of that is history, you know?
Wow. I tell you never know what people have, how life will take you and put you in a wash machine. You know what I mean? Spin cycle, you know, for real.
Sure. Man,
you know, and you find yourself in situations and you're like, how did I get here? They talk about rock bottom, right? And it sounds like that was a rock bottom moment. But you also talk about praying.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one of my favorite quotes, right? Sometimes your biggest opportunities get disguised as bad news. Getting locked up, you know, being homeless. Like, those are the things where it's like being like Daniel in the lion's den, where you have to kind of sit in those spaces to come out. Now, given that now you're on the other side, you know, you've been doing this for a while. What do you think your relationship with Guru taught you about trust and alignment?
So, with Guru, even though he was a little older, it was like I was the big brother, you know, because like I said, you know, his father was, shout out to Harry J. Elam, rest in peace. He was Chief Justice in Superior Court, you know, so he was a judge, and they were from that side. Me, you know, I was from, the home became broken, and I'm in them streets and whatever, you know, so we were from two different sides of it. So even us coming together was unlikely, but I mean, we met each other young, but we actually started hanging out in Atlanta, Georgia. It started this musical thing when we were in Atlanta, you know what I mean? So.
Now, did you go to Morehouse?
No, he went to Morehouse. Okay. I was really out there just scrambling, doing my hustle. I had a little front job in Lenox Mall, but I was like, moving with that weed like that. And I had so many friends that went to the colleges, people I had met, through what I was doing. And then they were like, yo, your man, Keith, he goes to Morehouse. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, because I was hanging with these other dudes, Dwight and Chuck from Boston. Shout out to them. They were going to Morris Brown. And this is my first experience at that HBCU thing. When they weren't calling them that, they was just black colleges. And, I was out there, and it was so great because I was like, damn, all these people and beautiful women and beautiful life and football teams, everybody was black. This is me, like young looking at it. It was crazy, so, but I was hanging with Chuck and Dwight, and then in one instant, Dwight had some sneakers mailed to him, and somebody from the football house stole them from him, right? And that was the Q's, and they had their house. But I'm on the street thing, my mentality's that way. So I go with these two dudes to the house, and I'm like, yo, give me my man's, y'all got them sneakers in here, blah, 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 or I'm doing this. And they were scared of that. I it is what it is, because that was a whole house of like football dudes. And I'm a football dude too, because I was getting ready to go to Fort Valley State and play football down there. So, but this is me. Now, when they gave me the sneakers back, and I gave them to Dwight, I was like, yo, man, I can't be hanging with dudes like this, like him, So that was it. And this girl, Lisa, who's still down there, she was like, yo, you got the homeboy Keith over at Morehouse. I said, oh, yeah. And then me and him ran into each other at this club called the Phoenix. And from that day on, like we hung like every single day. He was in school, but every day, like we hung from that point, like all the way till he graduated. Then we connected back, when I came back to Boston. So yeah, it was just, me and him was destined to just, get together, because we were older, considered older, even though we was like 22 and 23. But a lot of them rappers, Big Daddy Kane, all them, they was like 18 and 19 at that time. Nobody really knew that. So we had a bunch of people telling us like, oh man, y'all do that hip hop thing or whatever. Like, that's for kids, right? And I think about it because being like 20, early 20s, and like, damn, we was kids. But but that's how people would say it to us. And so then now when people, oh man, I always knew y'all was gonna, this is real. Like they really say stuff like that, and I just listen. I'm like, yeah, But I mean, rest in peace to Guru. But it was destined, and peace, the legacy continues, man. Through all those affiliated and with me, it's something that we started and dreamed about, and I continue to do the music along with DJ Premier. So legacy's forever. Shout out to his family and his son KC, and my family. We keep this thing going.
That's what's up. I'm loving that you're here, man. I love hearing about your life and just what you've seen. I think social media in general, shows like this, is giving us access to our legends in a way we didn't have access to you before. So I think it's really dope for you to still be here, living and breathing, to tell us, the stories, and we know it's authentic because it's coming from the horse's mouth, as they would say.
It's the thing about it, though, not to cut it, but the thing about it, you saying that too, is so I don't go around and say that, I'm legend, I'm this, I'm that, right? So the people say that to me, like, I don't say it, but Boston, for many years, it's always been funny about things like that, because you got some people that show you the proper love or whatever, just from what you've done. I mean, that's all it is, Right. And then you got some that is, I guess they hating, because it's almost like, like I'll go to New York, like, let's take it deeper. I'll go to Japan, what I'm saying, tomorrow, and I'm going in this spot like, oh, Big Shug, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Anyway, we can pick plenty places, but then you'll be here and someone's like, they'll say, oh, you gonna come to so-and-so? Yeah. You going to that? Yeah. I think it's $40 or whatever. and that's not the issue of paying. The issue is though, like we should celebrate each other. They always wonder why they say ain't nobody in Boston really blow up or no one this, because you're not even celebrating people that are celebrities. When I was younger, you had like a Margot Thunder and a few other people, even Maury Stars that were local, but they had that national attention. And people would be hot with it for a minute. That as time went by, then they act like they didn't exist. And so it still happens. And then that's why it was so much love when this group had the Halloween party. I forget.
Nine Alarms?
Yeah, they had the Halloween party, and Busta Rhymes was in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
shout out to Danger, Cephalo, and D Nice.
Yeah, shout out to them. And so the people, Busta Rhymes goes on stage, and he goes on a little bit of rant to the people about me. You know what I mean? Because he's like, yo, you got a legend in the building, blah, blah, blah. So he's telling y'all that, right? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. That's like, there's a lot of people out there that, in the crowd, whatever, they know Shug, whatever. But then you got, people not, they might know, but they don't care. So him saying that was deep, because I'm even at this show on him. It's not like the people giving the show was like, hey, Shug, come here. It was him. So that's what I mean. It's just, let's just embrace it. Like I embrace the young coming up, dudes that were before me. When I was coming up, it was local groups, the Ambitions. They were very local. Like I said, Margot Thunder. Maurice Starr was performing then. He wasn't managing, the New Edition and New Kids. He was just performing. So I always loved that, and I became one of them people, believe it or not, or whatever the case may be. So I'm a celebrity, you know what I mean? But
absolutely,
I'm not banging my chest to do that or say that. It's just that, wow, let's just embrace each other, man. Let's just, I go to malls, I go to places, Dunkin' Donuts, I'll go to Stop and Shop, and people are like, oh, Big Shug, go take a picture. Like, this is that simple, and them are people like, I don't know where they're from, but they know that, you know what I mean? So, and I don't need to like walk all through the neighborhood and people act all whatever, but just, certain situations, if we keep celebrating each other and keep building our legacy and building it up, we're good. We're going to be good. You know what I mean? But
I think
how it is.
That's, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think for me, I was just telling you, to everybody that I got coming on in season 9, to me, I look at you guys that way, and I'm like, what better way to create living legacy? Because we're still here.
That's what I mean. That's what it is.
Like having these conversations, people that listen to the show that are trying to figure out their way, and they're looking at us like we got it all together, or we always had it together. You don't know our stories, and brings me to my next segment. But I know I'm going to have to do the top of the hour in just a minute. But we're going to talk about your bet on self moment. So, little history. Is it coming on? No. Little history. When my dad was here, he used to always tell me, baby, you need to bet on yourself. If you put energy and attention that you're putting into other people, into yourself, you can never lose. So those defining moments that, despite who your daddy is, your mama is, where you grew up, what you've been through, you say, if not now, then when? If not me, then who? These defining life moments when we make those decisions, past, present, or future. Where do you see yourself, and how are you betting on yourself now?
Well, the thing with me now is, I'm a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. That's what I am. You know what I mean? So I always bet on myself as I move forward, because I'm a person that, I still have albums coming out. Most likely there's going to be more movies to do. I'm going to continue to be in my present and share my presence. So I just feel like as long as I can breathe and whatever, I'm going to continue doing these things, making music, like performing, living a life, being a respectful person, and protecting my peace. That's it. That's what I see, you know.
Yeah. I think it's dope because I think some people think after 50. I know back in the day I used to think 50 was old. I'll take
Me
responsibility,
too. Me
right?
too. Yeah.
Now I look at 50 so different. I'm sitting here looking at a 63-year-old. I mean, it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was going on back then and why everybody looks so much older.
So,
but I just think we're in a different phase where we're not looking at life the same. Like we're running out of time. We're trying to make sure we use every bit of the days that we're given to live in our purpose and to do what it is we love, no matter how old we are.
You know, the thing about it too is like I know a lot of people around my age and what have you.
Hold on. Hold that thought.
The Urban Heat. Expect the unexpected. Unorthodox radio from Boston and beyond. Heat981fm.com and iHeart Station.
Big shout out to Mark Harris.
Yes.
Every time I hear that, you know, big shout out. So you were saying?
Yeah. So I don't know people my age around, you know, what have you, that I don't know. They even look at me themselves and say, "Damn, man, you know, what are you doing?" Like, you know,
Thank God you don't look like what you've been through.
You would never think me and them are the same age, but that's because people do this too. Oh man, yeah, damn, you still doing your thing, right? Oh shoot, yeah, man, I got married and I'm working, I'm retired now, man. I put on these pounds. This like life is supposed to be that way, though. That's what it is. Like you accept that. Oh man, I can't do that. I used to do that, but now I got this age and now I drink more coffee and with, you know what I mean. So that's the whole thing. It never been a focus. Age is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So, if you keep moving, then you gonna keep on doing what you want to do and what you need to do. So it's like as long as you keep existing, man, there's so much to do. That's how I look at it. And as far as like, if someone looks at me and tells me, damn, they always ask me, what do you do? Like, you look good or whatever, or you're in shape. It is nothing magical, man. It's just that's me. Like, I'm like I said, I eat fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? I drink, I smoke a little something. So I mean, but it's just that I don't know. Like I move. I believe I move correctly. And in my life, in my journey. So and protecting your peace is important as well. So
and he prays, y'all. He prays. He puts God first.
Yeah, definitely got to pray.
We, I don't want to get too spiritual, but I do believe that some of us that have gone through some of the hardest things are truly blessed. Because we put God first, and we got out of it with prayer. We got out of it with believing in ourselves. And you said something earlier about we're all God's children, first and foremost. And I remember being taught as a young girl not to look down on people. A crackhead could teach you something. An alcoholic could teach you something. Don't focus so much on the messenger. Focus on the message because they got life that they've lived that they might really be telling you something that'll save you, but because you feel like they're below you, you don't want to listen to the lesson. And you can end up right where they are because you just didn't want to listen.
I had a guy, he was a cellmate, like I'm younger, but he was about 50. And he was definitely on heroin, and he's on the phone, arguing with his mother to bail him out. So I'm figuring like he's that old, I said, damn, I'm looking at him, he said, yo, Shug, he said, man, this life here, man, forget this life. He said, don't deal with these drugs and nothing. He said, you stop doing that and get in the right side of life. You'll make more money than you ever make, like in this drug game and all this stuff. Like this is what he said to me. And he was absolutely right because, that's, I got into the music, made more money than I've ever made, like when I was hustling. And I made a lot of money on that side too. So the thing about that was I didn't see him again. And then I went to Simcoe's to get probably a hot dog or something back then. And I seen him. He was in the front. And he was drunk. He had a bottle of Wild Irish Rose. I don't know how he got there, but he was there. And I said, man, I seen him. I said, damn, you might not remember me, man, but you said this, what I just told you. I explained it to him. I said, you told me this a long time ago. And that's one of the things that helped me get myself together. You know what I mean? And listen, I gave him like something like $50 or something. And I said, no matter what he was going to do, he was obviously still in it. But I just felt like, man, that was one of the things that someone said to me on my journey to like get myself together. That I was like, man, this dude said something that was so powerful. And then years later, it came to fruition for me. So,
That's what's up. Shout out to everybody listening. We got Instagram popping. Shout out to Facebook. I see you, Moonlight. What's up, my sister? DJ Wade is in the building.
DJ Wade.
Yes, we had DJ Daz One that got on the check-in saying what's up to the legend.
What's up, Daz?
Yep. Sean Jordan has definitely been rocking out with us the whole time. Shotgun Sandy, what's up, sis? Leroy's on the check-in as well. Appreciate all y'all. Danny, what's going on? He's on He's with Remy in the City on Wednesdays. He's checking on the check-in as well. And we got a whole bunch of people on Instagram. I'm going to do some quick shout-outs real quick. Takeover Photography. We got Motivated by Mathematics is on here as well. So Blanc is on here. Deco, I see you, my sister. We got Clifton. Cliff is on here. Black Light Crystal. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. I appreciate y'all checking in on the check-in. YouTube, y'all know I see y'all too. And LinkedIn, I see you. Twitch, what's going on, everybody? Everybody checking in on iHeartRadio. We appreciate y'all. Boston has Black Radio, baby, and we are the Urban Heat 98.1 FM. Of course, I'm Coach Lyle, your favorite around the way therapist. So we almost wrapping up. We got one more segment, Big Shug, that I want to bring us to. Seeing that you're a football guy, I had Jonathan Gates on here with me last week, and he was a football guy too. I had a lot of football guys on here, but segment is Coach's Corner. I had ran across a video of Black men at the round table, and one of the actors, he has said that going to therapy is often like if you were in a boxing match and they ring the bell and you go over to the corner and your coach puts Vaseline on you, fixes up your eye, tells you where to sort of look out for the punches and, how to protect yourself. So I like to end the show with giving people a blueprint, right? They're in Coach's Corner. And now you coach Shug, I'm Coach Lyle. We going to give them some nuggets, some tips to take into their week. And even, further than that, but what's something that folks can do this week if they're in a dark place? Maybe they have hit rock bottom, and it may not be addiction. Maybe it's their finances. Maybe it's just life in general. During this time of year, a lot of people start contemplating ending their lives, feeling like it's no point. What's some advice, encouragement that you would give folks that might be in that space right now?
So, first and foremost, I would first of all, like I said, you do got to pray, but also, have direction and no, just relax for a minute too. And, take your time with everything, your thought process or whatever you got to do, because nothing's going to happen overnight. So, stay focused on what the goal, make the goal, stay focused on that. And whether it's getting yourself together, move towards getting yourself together, whatever it's going to take. Whatever type of help you need, whatever it is, take your time and assess that, and then you have to attack it in that demeanor, and like I said, relax though. There's no hurry. There's no hurry to a fix. You know what I mean? It's going to take a minute. So I believe in that, and pay attention, because you got to listen to hear. Let me say that again. You got to listen to hear. Sometimes people want to talk, but they're not listening. So you got to hear what's being said, and just continue to move forward. It'll be all right. I believe it will be all right. If you want it to be, it will be. You pray, you move forward, and you assess whatever it is that you need to do and conquer that. As a coach too, shout out to all those kids. I coached for 20-some years. A lot of kids that are grown now. My sons too, Tremaine and Kerry Jr. And also, speaking of football guys, my nephew, TJ Guy, he just signed with the Baltimore Ravens.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, shout out to that, But I also want to shout out his father as well, because I told him I had this blueprint about, coaching. get into football and play basketball, do these certain things. And he followed that. He had his different things he had to go through, but he put his son in that. You know what I mean? To do the same thing.
Let's get them some.
Yeah. And Terrence got senior. Now, TJ had to do the work, and that puts him where he's at now. It's still got a long way to go. But still, it's just life will get greater. It'll get greater, man. But it is only one day at a time as well. Because, like I say, Mark Harris, who passed, and a few others, but I remember just always seeing him, and him always like, I need that music, or always being encouraging, and just always like he was always in the know about what I was doing musically, So you always seen him vibrant like that. And I think I might have told you before, I had got the wrong information about his funeral and what have you. So when I did get the right information, I had about 10 minutes or 15 minutes left. And then guess what? It brought me there before they closed the casting, whatever they was doing. And I'm like, wow, you here? No one's here, like maybe two people. And I'm seeing him and, saying my piece because I guess I was supposed to. But guess what? We didn't expect this to be the outcome of with him. Like no. I didn't. So it's like, you never know, don't
how life is going to play out.
Don't put it off. Do everything you can do. Like do it today. And then tomorrow we'll worry about that tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like I always say, excuses have no purpose. You know what I mean? So therefore, don't make them. Do what you got to do. That's it.
That's so true. I'm going to say this, right? Thank you, Big Shug, right? Let's talk about ROI, which is the return on your inner work. I don't care where you are, what's happening, right? You can accumulate status and still lack stability. I think a lot of times we think because we've arrived that it's all going to just pan out. But we know some of the people who became famous, made all this money and turn around and get caught up in drugs or make a wrong decision or just spend all their money. And overnight seems like it, they went up. It goes right down to rock bottom. So being humble is something that allows you to stay grounded. And Jonathan said something last week, like people like Sean Combs and R. Kelly lacked people around them to say you're messing up. That everybody was yes people. They didn't want to either lose their status, get fired, so they went along with a lot of things, and no one really challenged their integrity or helped them to kind of get to be seen. So I think a lot of times we need people like that. And when you see someone who's already in the belly of the darkness that's telling you something, I think when you said just listen and observe, because they're warning you about some things, but sometimes we just too big-headed to listen. And we walk right into the fire and get burned right up. So I think about that as I'm getting ready to turn 50 or 63. And we're both saying that we've had people along our paths tell us nuggets and wisdom that I didn't always listen. I'll be honest. I didn't always listen. I didn't always take heed. There's some decisions that I could have done or maybe done differently, but I don't have regrets because I feel like it all shapes my identity and who I've become. But really pay attention. Your legacy is not what you leave behind, but it's what people feel when they experience you. So I think that's the other thing. What you always have good energy. And I often forget, I told Jonathan this last week, that you are this big legend until I go Google you. Like I went to look you up. I was like, dang, Shug did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Still
to it.
Right. Because you don't carry yourself as some people call Hollywood. You're not all Hollywood. You're very approachable, you're relatable, and you're very human.
Right.
And I think that's the one thing I think social media has done is that Michael Jackson, we was talking about him earlier, he wanted to be mysterious. It made a false narrative prior that entertainers and celebrity weren't human. People were screaming and falling out, and it created this world as if you weren't someone that felt or went through things, like because of the superstardom that was going on.
Right.
Social media has made everybody, I think, in a lot of ways human.
Right.
That's the one thing I would say.
It's a part of it too, because I even think about what you just said. I remember doing a show with Gang Starr and Tupac when Tupac first came out as a solo artist, and he was always fiery. You know what I mean? I remember with that one night we went to this club to hang out, and they didn't want to let us in with sneakers on. Eventually they did, but he was going off already for no reason, whatever. That's just how that dude was. But we did this show and they didn't have all this money. So when he said, well, I'm not going to finish the show because they don't have the money they're supposed to have, so we leaving. And we were performing there too. So now everybody's going off, it was crowded there, North Carolina somewhere. And, excuse me. And so now, they're trying to chase us, like screaming and that stuff, but not mad, like kind of fan, but I was like, wow, these people are this, excited about this, not knowing, like, the bottom line is like, okay, it was like, to them, it's like, we're not doing a show, but we still want to get a piece of these people. And then me and Guru, we were running, and then we went the other way. And then we said, well, they're chasing Tupac, so, okay, they're trying to find. Then when they turn around and seeing us, then they start chasing us, but not like to harm you, but they was like on some. So we running. I'm like, wow, this is how people really getting about this. This is me learning about, too.
Celebrity.
Yeah, how this thing was, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, this is what it is. But like I said, the beat goes on for me. I got 4 projects coming out. Undefeated to be first with DJ Premier, produced by him, with a few features on there, terminology, Busta Rhymes and such. Also, My Man's in Them is another project produced by a kid called Quest. Another project called what's that other one? Last of a Dying Breed, produced by Mr. DL. And then another album called Two for the Show, with M.Dot, produced by various people, Apollo Brown and many more, Confidence and such. So I'm still going, reading it for these movies and things like that, and everything's still just going up, going down and going up at the same time. So
I love this because people get so caught up on age and milestones, which is another reason why I brought you on, right? Approaching 50, it's like you start reflecting on what you did, what you're supposed to do, what you didn't do, what you still need to do. And I'm finding, as I have more and more guests come on, like the milestones that society puts on us, we got to really let that stuff go, because it creates unnecessary stress and causes you to be overwhelmed. And what you really need to do is just each day be 1% better than you were before.
That's so.
Go after the things you enjoy on a daily basis and not be put in a box because people try to tell you what your identity is, when your identity is shaped by your lived experiences and about what you want to do and who you want to become. Who you were before is not where you're going or who you have to stay. And you're not your trauma. I think a lot of times we hear people talking about being in survival mode and they're constantly reacting because they went through something. And I love that you said, just relax, take a deep breath. All of that stuff is therapy. Believe it or not, that's what I'm teaching people in a therapy session.
Right.
And it's a blessing to hear that that's just part of your day-to-day way that you are. And this is what I want people to see. There are people who live their life like that. And therefore, that's why they don't need a therapist the way you may think they do. We're all going through life. Life is lifing on each and every one of us. We all have ups, downs. We all have emotions, but not everybody reacts to everything the same way. And that's what the difference is. Some of us are able to do exactly what Big Shug is saying. We just sit, we observe, we take a deep breath, we feel our emotions, and we don't let our emotions make decisions for us. They're just data. They're just data. You can't always be going out for your emotions. Any other closing thoughts? I know we about to wrap up right now. I know it's I kept you a little bit longer because you're a legend. You get to stay 30 minutes longer on the show.
It's all good. No, it's just like I said, keep on follow me, Instagram. I'm Big Shug Gang Starr on Instagram. the real Big Shug on X, Kerry Guy on Facebook, and TikTok, Big Shug. Just because I'm always putting out, pushing the brand and what I'm doing, and you can find out, for the next things coming up.
And he's on all platforms.
All
too.
platforms.
Apple Music, Spotify. Yeah. You just all you gotta do is just Google him.
It's there.
Everything pops right up. When I tell you he got a platform, Wikipedia. It's not that hard to find. Big Shug. It's beautiful to see. Shout out to Angelina Hightower too. She's also in the check-in saying what's up to us.
What's happening? Yeah.
Lottie Mathis. What's up, Miss Lottie? I ain't seen you on my live in a minute. How you doing, girl? Appreciate you tuning in. Everybody that tuned in tonight, we appreciate you. Yes. Please go and subscribe, download. He's also on YouTube. Run them numbers up. If you weren't a fan before, this is the first time you're coming in and learning about Big Shug. Go check out his catalog.
Check it out.
It's that old school hip hop 90s, vibe. And you're gonna definitely bob your head to it. I tell you that.
So and I look at it like that because I think a lot of it is that, and then as it evolves into even the newer music, it's just still embodies that time, but it's musically and sonically like it's really getting after it, and at the same time, like I said, I'm gonna continue to do music, so. I appreciate y'all. Even Spotify itself, that's another thing. Spotify, you said. I think about it, like there's 35,000 listeners on Spotify. That's one platform.
That's just one.
So as me and you that's one thing too about, me and you are sitting here. As we sit here, there's this month, each month, there's 30,000 plus people that are listening on that platform. Right now, what we're doing is there's people watching movies that I'm in, right? So because all the movies I'm in too are not on a flex tip, but on just saying that I'm a principal actor. So that means I speak in them all. So when you see them, you know it, and in case y'all and say before I get out of here, in case you haven't seen them, you go see Black Mass with Johnny Depp, the Whitey Bulger movie. Mm-hmm. Go see The Town with Ben Affleck. I'm also in Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Clear History with what's that? Larry David.
Don't forget Tough Guy and Black Mass.
Yeah, all that. So there's quite a few. And even Mark Wahlberg's movie, Spencer Confidential. So yeah, I'm in a few. So that's just if you chilling, you know what I'm saying? You want to get that popcorn open at home, whatever. Let me check Shug out, right? It's all there.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
It's been. Oh, and then last but not least, we didn't say this, but go check out Rhythm and Raps.
Oh yeah,
he has a sandwich called the Big Shug Burger that you can go get.
Rhythm and Raps. Shout out to them because it's a beautiful thing. Like I'm not vegan, but I will go there and eat. And if that's for all the vegetarians and vegans, that's the spot. Even if you're not and you eat some of those dishes, that's the spot.
Oh, I love me some Rhythm and Raps. They have none of this is actually meat, but they have a Philly cheesesteak. They got some great Beyond Burgers.
You had that Philly cheesesteak?
Yes, that's good.
I've only had the burger type things.
The Philly cheesesteak is excellent. And I usually don't like vegan cheeses. My brother's a vegan. Shout out to my brother. He's actually on the live too. But the cheese that they use at Rhythm and Raps, I like.
Oh yeah.
That's really good. They also make these fried oysters.
Oh yeah.
Mushroom oysters.
Okay.
Tastes like chicken tenders.
Oh yeah.
Chicken strips.
That's what they told me about alligator, but it's
no, for real, it's good.
I believe you.
It's good. And they make good fresh juice too. So check out Rhythm and Raps. I gotta get them to come sponsor one of my shows.
Oh yeah, because the dude and his wife, the owners of that, great people. And he's a hip hop dude, but great people, most definitely.
What's going on, Kim? I appreciate you checking in too. So, Moonlight, I guess this is a secret. I didn't know that she had a crush on you. I guess, they in the live going back and forth. So her and DJ Wade.
Yeah, so they was
going back and forth in the live right now.
They was joking that day. You was here, but you don't remember stuff, but
I know you didn't throw me under the bus.
Because what happened was that's what was cool about coming up that day as well, because she didn't know me. Her and I think it was another young lady. They didn't know me from hip hop. They knew from I had a couple of singing songs that I had sent to Wade, and so they knew from that. So they they came on aboard like that, which was dope because and there's a lot of people like that because sometimes I'll pop up somewhere singing with some band or something. So they knew that, and I brought it to the other side, but it was just good for them to hit that. You like Shug because you like these songs you heard.
Yeah, they sexy songs.
And this shit. One was Sex on the Couch, so I know.
Yes, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
And so now they're teasing Wade saying he watched too much porn. But y'all are taking my show to another place. This is not sex therapy, Wade.
Hey, shout out to DJ Wade because a lot of people don't know that we go way back from the Rose Club when I was just up there hanging out and bouncing and doing different things. I was way back, and that's when I actually met him. And then through my journeys, now he's been my man.
I got him coming on here. DJ Wade's coming on the virtual couch in June. I had to strong arm him. Hopefully, he don't renege.
I got to go on his show too because he just hit me. But I told you before, and I want to come on there after I got this project coming out. So
mic check 1 2 1 2. Yeah. That's what he's on here. Yeah. DJ Wade, I love you. Tony Bone, what's going on, Tony Bone? Shout out again to everybody that's tuned in. We about to get off this virtual couch.
Yes.
My time is up. Thank you, Mr. Marv Neal, for allowing me to have the extra time tonight. This is whenever I have someone of Mr. Shug, Big Shug, Sugar Bear's caliber, I get a little bit of extra time. Oh, you singing? You gonna sing us out?
Oh, I was humming.
Oh, you gonna sing us out? Go ahead. Give us some of that Sex on the Couch real quick.
Nah, they can't get that, but I just give them that riff. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 it's time to go. Hey, hey. Peace. Big Shug, you know what it is.
You know what it is. Thank y'all for tuning in to the virtual couch. We signing out. Make sure you come next week. I have Miss Hot Sauce from Spark FM going to join me on the virtual couch next week. Thank you so much for your time and your attention and just, blessing me with your presence, Big Shug.
Yes.
I appreciate you very
too.
much.
I appreciate being here. Shout out 98.1 FM. And, I'm just glad to be here. It was a great time and great to talk to you like that.
Yeah,
and,
man.
We'll
I really appreciate it. Now you got to make me a new an intro. You got to sing something.
Yeah, we get you for real.
Since you did that, I need a new la la la.
Oh yeah.
Get on the virtual
couch. I kill that. I'm serious.
I'm serious too. I want my track.
I kill you.
Season 10, I got a new track by Big Shug. That's what's up.
I'm about to do it for the intro.
Yeah, that's what's up.
For sure.
All right, good night, everybody. We appreciate y'all.
Yes.
See you next week.
Out.
Nancia, Smokehouse, it's the urban heat. Shout out to Coach Live. Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just call it. Conversations with Coach La 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 La.